How much money do you need to do Amazon FBA in 2025? So in this video, we're going to do a little breakdown of all the different costs involved to do Amazon FBA, which to just do a quick recap for anyone that's not entirely familiar with this concept, although I hope you would be watching this video, but Amazon FBA is just the process for what people call like private label. So you have some capital that you want to invest, you create a product, build a brand around it, and you put it on Amazon. And then, but instead of like shipping it yourself, which would be FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, you send your products like an Amazon warehouse, and they'll take care of all the distribution for you. So yeah, fulfilled by Amazon. To really sort of get into this, I've broke everything down into three main categories. So the first one's going to be product sourcing, creating the product itself. Then talk about manufacturing costs, and then we're going to talk about the shipping costs. There are other elements at play, obviously, but we're just talking about the big main three, and because those in the beginning, those are going to have the biggest impact on your costs. So if we go to product design, the sort of things that we're talking about. So straight off the bat, you got software subscriptions. There are tools out there which you can use to find products, like product ideas. Obviously there's a million products out there, but which ones actually represent a good opportunity? So it's only a cheap cost, but it's part of the product design process. You're finding what sort of opportunity you want to take advantage of. Once you've got an idea of the product, you then start looking at different suppliers, manufacturers. You arrange samples, get them shipped across. And depending on how far you take it, you might just receive a sample and just go, yeah, that's fine. Let's get this made. Or you might, try and get some design alterations, make it unique, make it yours. And then there's a lot of samples backwards and forwards. And then these next three, these are the sort of bigger ones. One of the key pillars of actually being successful in Amazon is how much you can sort of stand out and also optimize your listing compared to your competition, because there's always going to be competition out there. So the difference really is part of how much you can stand out. So branding, that's going to be a big one for you. It's up to you how far you want to take that one, but I mean, generally, given that it's like so integral to everything you're going to do, it's not something you should really be cheaping out on right now. So that'd be a big cost. Packaging, maybe it's not a big deal because it's on Amazon, but still, it's good to have some solid packaging, because then you can do more of that in the future. Maybe build your own website where you sell the products. Product photography, again, the better pictures that you take in the beginning, the more use you'll get out of them in the future. And then product listing, you can write something yourself. Amazon right now even have an option where you can use AI to generate a listing for you from scratch. Or again, it's probably there's more sense in hiring someone who's a professional and knows what they're doing to actually create a listing for you, to give it every chance of success from the beginning. So if you look at the costs, these are all just estimates. And for each of these examples, I sort of broke it down to like a low cost product, which is something small, cheap, and then up to a high end. For this first one, I've just put the estimates down as like $1,000 for each. It really depends how far you want to take it. It could be cheaper than this, but it could be way more expensive. So it could be anything from say $500 up to $2,000. It's entirely up to you, but just giving you a ballpark. Let's just say it's $1,000 across the board. Next, if you look at manufacturing, for the most part, it's going to be you've got the MOQ, which is like the minimum order quantity. And what this is, it's like little factors where you say order 500 units at X price, but if you order 1,000, you get it slightly cheaper. So those are factors that come into play. You have to also consider the weight and the dimensions of the products. These all play a part, and then how many units you're going to order from the manufacturers. The ranges here obviously, as you can see, vary a lot more. So for a low cost product, so you might order 500 units and it'll cost about $4. And then, yeah, you could be easily looking at $2,000 minimum. For mid range, again, it's slightly bigger products, you order less units, it'd be 300 and it'd be more expensive. So that's how we work out that fee. And again, with a high cost product, that could be something like a table, for example, or a computer desk. So it's big, bulky. You're not going to order as many, and it's going to be more expensive, but the costs jump up significantly. So once you've got all the products made, then you consider shipping. So the shipping itself, the import duties and tax, and then if you're watching this video in April 2025, the conversation of tariffs, which is basically any estimates that you see on the screen, just double them. So, yeah, quick disclaimer: if you're in a position right now where you're looking to start doing something like white label or Amazon FBA, just forget it. Forget it for a few months. Wait until everything's calmed down and settled again, and you've got some clarity on the tariff situation. But otherwise, low cost products, you might be looking at $500. High cost could be up to $1,250. Again, these are just ranges, just to give you like a ballpark idea of what we're talking about with the costs. But if we take these and then put them all together, we can look at the totals again for the three different types of products. So for a low cost product, you'll be looking around having a budget of $3,500. Mid-range products, $5,300, and for high cost products, you're looking at having a budget of $8,750. And that's just to get everything, designed, manufactured, and shipped over to the US. Now, these are the sort of figures you'll find a lot on average online when you do your research, but I think what's missing in all of these is the fact of how you actually succeed on Amazon. And that's really pretty much entirely down to the advertising budget. So you can't just make these products and get them sent to America, put them on Amazon, and then expect everything to just automatically start bringing in sales. It doesn't work like that. There's just too many products online, too many competitors. The only way to even get the ball rolling, you can, in the future, get to a point where you don't need ads. You can rely on organic, essentially. But again, even that's not recommended these days. But you need an advertising budget. So if you want any sort of success, you need to take whatever budget you have to get these products even get them made, and then combine that with the advertising budget. So I'd recommend, these are just minimums, even as like $1,000 a month. Ideally, you want to even set aside as much as $2,500. The more you set aside, basically, the better chance you have of success. So, I mean, again, if we're recommending $2,500 as the minimum across 6 months, which you want to budget for, you're already looking at adding $15,000 to your current investment of what we looked at previously. So, if the low cost product is around 3,500, add the 15,000 to that. I mean, and again, that's also being generous. So you can take those estimates and just add an extra to it. So I would say, basically, for a low cost product, you're looking around having $20,000 set aside in the bank to get started. High cost, it could be as much as 30,000. So that's the real point of this video, to be honest, is you have all these costs, but what you can't forget actually is the advertising cost, and that's the one that's going to cost you a lot of money. And even further to that fact, you need 15,000 set aside. Then you have to answer the question of how you're going to actually do the advertising. Are you going to start? Are you going to start learning yourself how to be an efficient advertiser? and learn all the skills of like doing Amazon ads yourself? If so, then yeah, you might do well if you learn from a good source, but at the same time, you might very much just waste that entire budget if you don't know what you're doing. But then maybe you want to go down a different avenue where you actually hire a professional team, someone like ourselves, and then again, that's adding more costs to your budget. So yeah, you can do that, but if you're already looking at say $25,000 all in with your advertising budget and getting the product made for a mid-price product, then you have to add additional money onto that budget, and yeah, it very quickly escalates beyond what you normally see online, where people are like, "Hey, you just need $5,000 to get started with Amazon FBA." When the reality is, you need to times that by 5 at the least. So yeah, anyway, I hope that's give you a little bit more clarity. I already have some videos up on the channel about different advertising campaigns to get you started. I've also wrote a Substack article about different campaigns to start as a beginner, someone in the position that you might be listening to this video. So if you want to read that, go to the description. I also set up a Facebook group where I post like I'll post as much as I can right now, but it's just me. So yeah, I got a Facebook group going. If anyone wants to join, you can ask me any sort of questions you want. I'll be there to answer anything. And yeah, hopefully this video give you a bit more clarity. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.